the true meaning of fearlessness is not the absence of fear, it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And as you'll see, I'm already down off on a little bit of a tangent. And that's the idea of this podcast. That's what I want this podcast to be. It's an opportunity for me to show up truly as I am, because there's a level on social media, there's a level of like, I get a lot of love for being authentic and for being like my true self and showing up however I am. And I really do try to convey that message when I'm online. But however you look at it, particularly with short form content creation online, there's a level of creation that goes into it. Now, some or a lot of the content that I post is actually me speaking live on an Instagram live and then just chopping that up and putting that out. But still, when I'm in front of people, there is always a level of performance. Like, you have to just recognize that there's a level of that. And so longer form content in the style of a podcast, I just feel will give me more opportunity to explore who I am a little bit more and get across who I am. And I want to try and do this. I'm going to try and do this like every week. I'm going to show up. There's no script, right? There's no real plan. As you can see, I've got my iPad here. Well, you won't be able to see if you're listening to the podcast, but if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. And on my iPad, my notes for today are why the pod, how did we get here, and wrap up. That's it. That's literally what I've written on there. But also, like a lot of people have somebody in the background that they can when they want to search something online, they can get them to search it. I don't have anybody in the background. So if I do want to search anything online, and I think as I get a bit more confident doing this, I will do that, but I don't know if you'll see me searching anything online today. But I want to show up every week, and I want to try and show up when I do show up on the pod. I want to try and show up in the energy that I'm in. And that's not easy because with any level of content creation, with any level of getting across something that you want to get across, right? Conveying a message in the way that we see in the world today, through content, there is that slight level of performance or whatever you want to call. And so I want to just try and show up as authentically as I can here. And what you'll find is, like, I've got a very scattered mind. Sometimes I'm manic, and I'll be like just joking and all over the place and jumping around, and that's how I show up. And then sometimes I'm like just really like, people will think I'm chilled, but I'm probably just disassociated and zoned out. And sometimes, by the way, over the course of the time that I'm recording, I'll flip between all of those things, and that's all right too. And that's like, I guess, the initial reason, or one of the reasons why I want to make the podcast in this way, and where I've made it a solo cast in the way that I have. And then secondly, a lot of the work that I'm doing in my life today, and a lot of the kind of message that I want to convey into the world, is that as I have grown my own platform, as I have grown my stature in the space, or grown who I am, right, as a person within the wellness space, within the wellness industry. And listen, I am a rebel, right? So I do take a level of pleasure in going against the grain.